Today on the Canadian Way, the 2020 Hyundai Kona. And Kona means cunt in Portuguese. And if you don't believe me, go make your own research. Bonjour, hi. I borrowed this car from one of our viewers.
It's funny you said cars.
The Hyundai Kona arrived in 2018 here in North America, and it's the most sold subcompact SUV here in Canada. Over here we have a 2020 Kona, which starts at $21,100 and finish at $52,000. And over here we have the luxury version, which starts at $30,300. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Kona, it's not a subcompact SUV. The ground clearance here is 154 millimeter, which is 1.3 millimeter higher than the Corolla. And from the side, we clearly see that it's a Hyundai Elantra hatchback. The front end looks like a Jeep Cherokee. The difference between the Cherokee and the Kona is that the Kona have 1 slot and the Cherokee have 7 slots. And underneath the big slot, you have here the big grills that cools down the engine. You have here your DRL lights, which is a line, and here it's the headlights. It's a terrible idea to place these headlights over there because here in Canada you're gonna smash it in the snowbank. Also, these fogs are completely useless. And talking about the fogs, they're gonna get destroyed in the snowbank. From the side, the Kona looks like a baby hippopo. And as you can see, we already washed it and we drive 7 kilometers. Yes, we washed it. That's the bill of the car wash. Already dirty.
We're wasting our money.
And these roof bars here are definitely useless. And here we have 205, 65 or 16 tires, which is cheap to replace. What made the difference in ground clearance between the Kona and the Elantra hatchback is the tire diameter. And to make a rugged look to the Kona, they had plastic fender flare. But it's cheap plastic.
I don't like it.
Me too. Same thing in the rear. And over here, we still have that rugged, rough plastic. So Hyundai decided to have tail lights over here, but also over here. So what's the point? Starting the interior with the trunk, which is not electronic at all, for a luxury version. Here we have 544 liters of cargo space, which is the same as an hatchback. With the second row down, we have 1,286 liters of cargo space. I was not able to fold down the other seat because there's a baby seat on. One thing I've noticed is that you can't fold down the second row seats from the trunk because there's no latch over here. And the plastic in the trunk is cheap. And one thing to remember is that this trunk is not dishwasher approved or Cinepark approved. Getting in the back seat, the door opens pretty wide. Front seat is at its maximum backup position. I definitely have no space for my legs and a little bit of space for my headrooms. But the seats are relatively comfortable. How tight I am here. And see, here the headroom is really tight. If I have an accident, I will just kill myself. Here on the back door panel, you'll have a window switch and a place here to store a bottle of water. And in the back, you'll find a place here to have 2 extra water bottles. Getting in the front seat, the door opens pretty wide. Seats are comfortable. Steering wheel is well placed for some people.
Oh, come on. Do you mean that I found it far?
And You got access to everything right at the palm of your hands. Here, you'll see the seats are made out of simile leather. Well, as you can see, the quality, seats are already cracked for a 1 year old car. Here on the front door panel, you'll see that you have both switch here, which is automatic, the driver's side and the passenger sides. You'll see that you have a small space here for a bottle at the bottom. And here you'll see the switch to adjust your exterior mirror. It looks like, do you remember those PlayStation controller that we used to buy? You have the original one and the aftermarket one, which was cheaper. Well, it looks the same, and it feels the same. General door panel quality is not that great. Here, what's surrounding the switches is made out of a cheap plastic quality, and it's the same that was installed in the Hyundai Elantra Touring 2009 that we have just been reviewed previously. You also have a cheap plastic at the bottom of the door, which is already scratched for a 1 year old car. Here next to the steering wheel, you'll have the cluster light dimmer switch. Here you have the blind spot monitor switch, the lane departure switch, and the traction control switch. The steering wheel looks good. You have all the switch that you'll see in any other cars these days, like switch to control your volume on your radio, switch to control your phone, Bluetooth. You have your adaptive cruise controls. Everything is there in the right place. Listen, you can't stay in your car with the engine on without hearing that seatbelt warning noise. You have to buckle up your seatbelt, which is very nice for Sne Park. The infotainment is very easy to use and simple, but one thing I found pretty funny is when you press on home, you need to go on your menu to get access to all your menu. Just underneath the radio, we'll find an easy, simple climate control with big knobs just like Toyota's, and it's simple and easy to use, although it does not have dual zone. And here, it's made out of cheap plastic and easy to scratch. Just underneath the climate control, you'll find 2 USB ports, 1 auxiliary, and a power 12-volt outlet. And no rubber carpet. Everything you place over there, it's gonna slide and scratch. Next to the shifter, on the left side, you'll find the drive mode, which you have eco mode, normal mode, sports mode, which is completely useless. You have here your lock center differential. Both sides you'll find heated seat switch, which you have 3 levels, and your steering wheel heating switch, and the hill descent switch, which I don't know why they had this. It's a car. And talking about the heated steering wheel switch, it's only a line and an heating element line inside the steering wheels, which is the same as the Sentra that we've made previously. Here you'll find 2 cup holder, and it's 2 simple cup holder without having any attention to the details. They don't have any rubber mat at the bottom, but you have 2 cup holder. And speaking about quality plastic, same quality plastic of the Touring Elantra 2009, which we made on our channel. Same cheap plastic. Here we have an inline 4 2-liter engine that has 147 horsepower and 132 foot-pounds of torque, and combined to a 6-speed automatic transmission, it averaged 10.2 liter per 100 kilometer, which is so much bad. You also have the option of a 1.6 liter engine turbo, but it's not recommended because most people says that turbo tends to blow, and this engine has a real reliability unknown because it has lots of recall, and I do not recommend it because it has some lifters issue that makes the engine blown. In 2022, there's an upcoming version which is called the N version, and it will produce 280 horsepower, and they won't have all-wheel drive. What? Otherwise, the reliability of Hyundai in Canada, when the warranty is done, the car is done. Here we have disc brake on each corner, independent suspension on each corner. It has all-wheel drive. Driving the 2020 Kona. The first thing we notice is the visibility, which is definitely not great because you can't see your blind spot. Definitely, it's really difficult to see. Plus, you don't know where the hood finish. I'm also seat very low, just like a car. Second thing is the sound deadening. Sound deadening is very average. The steering wheel, like every electric steering wheel, is pretty light. There's no feedback, and it's completely disconnected. And the precision is average. Now, let's see what is what. I'm gonna accelerate. 0 to 100 km/h is very slow. Very slow. At 5,000 RPM, you definitely hear the engine that just want to go out from under the hood. The acceleration is average. You'll have to calculate your overtake when it's time to accelerate. For everyday driving, the engine is a little bit sluggish. The car is a bit slow. The suspension is firm, and the vehicle handles just like a car because, well, it's a car. There's no body roll because of the ground clearance, which is definitely pretty low too. Overall, the Kona drives like a normal car, and it does not distinguish from the rival.
So Andrew, the Kona. What do you think about the Kona?
Well, it's a car. It's not a subcompact SUV.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I can recommend that car though.
Yeah, but
It's definitely not.
let's be honest here. We've been rough to it, but we think it deserves.
I didn't have any.
We've been rough to the Kona,
Yeah.
but actually, we're watching all these Kona on the road, and we're fascinating because it's not that great of a product. The CX-30 was better.
Yeah.
The engine was way better in the CX-30. Well, it was a 2.5, but still. And the driving experience was way better. The interior, miles away. And I mean, at the price this one is, I would get a Mazda 3 GT all-wheel drive.
Yep.
The Mazda 3 GT all-wheel drive start at around 30. It's just around the same price than this. I won't question myself.
Yeah. The
And
driving experience was really boring.
Well, as expected, it's an ordinary vehicle.
Yeah.
But what is hard to swallow, this is an hatchback.
Yeah. It's an hatchback, definitely.
It's not an SUV.
No.
So it's a all-wheel drive hatchback, and it's with all-wheel drive, I think it started at 24, 25 grand. There's better vehicle all-wheel
For the
drive
price,
vehicle.
yeah.
At 30
Definitely.
grand, you can get a Prius all-wheel drive with more storage space, and you're gonna save a ton of fuel. This
And you have Toyota's quality.
sold guy. No, but seriously, you can get a Prius for that price. A Prius
Yeah.
all-wheel drive. It's 31,000. This is 30. I wanna ask
And it averaged 10.2 liter. It's not economic.
yeah,
Either.
the
So
Prius
what
are gonna
the
average 4.
Yeah.
So where do we place it, Andrew? I will disapprove it.
I disapprove it too.
Yeah.
Because first, if we look at the option also, of course, they have more and more options, but these options are just cheap options.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Like
Come.
the sound system.
Yeah,
is
we
good.
didn't say it in the
Yeah, we
review.
forgot
Sound
to say it.
system
It's
is
good, but the radio sucks.
Yeah.
The radio, the way
It sounds.
it's when you put it on radio, it sucks. But when you put your cell on Bluetooth, sounds good.
Yeah.
The line on the steering wheel for the heated steering wheel, it's like you got a ton of option, and it's just there. It's the Walmart of automotive.
Oh,
That's rude.
that's rude. That's definitely rude. But yeah, I won't approve a car like that.
No,
It's totally disapprove.
Canadian disapprove. Sorry.